So I'm a little bit excited about making this video. Stick with me. It's gonna get why the connections are insane, in my opinion. And yeah, what I try to do on this channel is to make sense of these clues, puzzle the matrix together, and then we can, if it's correct, then we can make predictions. And yeah, it seems like everything that I was predicting is step by step coming true. And so it just happened that Elon Musk basically announced the mark, which will run on x.com, and it will be about X money and the whole X app. And yeah, basically there was a meeting taking place, and which was called the all hands. And yeah, what we saw in the beginning of the presentation, which Elon Musk personally held, that there was some kind of projector going on. I mean, it's supposed to be one of his SpaceX rockets, but it looks like a projector. So, and basically Elon was introducing X money on this all hands event. And yeah, all hands, something rang, and it was Revelation 13:16. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads. So we have all hands. All hands. And this was basically the event when Elon Musk was it was a few days ago, I think, somewhere after the Super Bowl. I'm not sure of that, but you can look this up. And he basically stood there and he showed you that he is basically the projector. He's basically the personification of the demiurge, or of L, of the false projector. And on the same event he was presenting X money, and we will go into that. So the event was called All Hands. Like Revelation says, all people will get the mark in their right hands, and Elon Musk was posing as the mon-eyed god, the money god. And there we have the clue in the name. X money means X, the one eye. So we basically have to cross out his vision that he presents to us. And what he presented to us was basically the mark. And yeah, let's go into the captions. And on this event he said that the central source of all monetary transactions will be on x.com and run via X money. And so it is really going to be a game changer. And yeah, the game is really about to change when the mark is introduced. Then the game changes. And he also said that, yeah, this is really intended to be the place where all the money is. So it's intended to be the place where all the money is, and it's the central source of all monetary transactions. So it's basically the mark he's speaking about right here. So yeah, X money, the introduction was basically the announcement of the mark via x.com, just like I predicted on this channel. And it's all about Xing his vision that he presents to us, because he's basically he's playing the role of the false prophet, or prophet, that we have the money again. And it's basically the central source of the projector, which we have to X out now in the game changer event. And yeah, then he presented his vision of our future, like Earth is basically a giant Skynet, with users. Remember, the user is the used, and X money, of course, and the X app, the everything app, yeah, are basically all integrated into his Skynet vision. So, and if we look at the background, we see the 1B for 1 billion, but it was basically a clue. We just have to turn it around, and when we see L and we see the T, which means that L, yeah, has to be hanged on the cross. L is basically the projector inside the mind, the AI. This thing inside the mind, the prison or the prison, which keeps us trapped. And of course, money plays a huge role, a central role in the prison of the mind. So yeah, it was basically a clue in plain sight that we have to hang L, the mind, on the cross. So yeah, even mainstream media was reporting on it. Elon unveils the game changer X money. Yeah, the mark of the beast is indeed a game changer because the whole game will flip. And also pay attention to the word unveil, unveiling. The demiurge is the veil, the shadow on the outer surface of the projection, and he's now unveiling the game changer. And unveiling is like the apocalypse means unveiling or come out of the hidden everything that's hidden will come to the surface. That's what apocalypse means. And yeah, payment platform on X is coming, so in the next 1 or 2 months. So yeah, maybe it's going to be presented on the lunar eclipse on the 3rd of March, or I think it will be unveiled on April the 20th, because 420 is Elon Musk's number. So, and for 42 months would play into that. So let's see when it's launched, but I think these 2 dates are significant. So yeah, in my last video I talked about the Golden Gate Bridge, and I talked about the Super Bowl being the end of the line, and that was pretty correct. Yeah, and also the logo, the Golden Gate Bridge, symbolizes always the bridge to the heart, the Golden Gate, the last bridge to take. And as we see on the logo right here, it's also pointing towards X being the bridge to take. And yeah, like it's shown in the X-Men, like X is being, it's like a crossroad, because not everyone probably will take the leap of faith, because the last bridge, we are going into that again, but it's always about the Golden Gate Bridge being destroyed, and that's a symbol for the leap of faith, which is necessary. Because when the mark is rolled out, there is no turning back, basically. There is no more option but to take the leap of faith and basically to jump. Because, as I showed in one of my earlier videos, we have to take the last stand when the mark has been rolled out. So we are basically, if we take the choiceless choice and we refuse the mark, basically, which is the only choice we have, then we will be excommunicated, like John Wick showed. Excommunicado. Excommunicated. So, yeah, that's why it's the game changer. So we are now at the end of the line, and I will go into that. It's about the destruction of the Golden Gate Bridge, which I will go into now. It's about the Golden Gate um, being exposed. It's about the end of the line in San Francisco. It's about taking the leap of faith. And it's about X.com being kind of the portal, being kind of the narrow gate, which you have to take. Yeah. And practically, this means you basically have to make the choiceless choice and trust, have faith in the heart, because there's always a way. Yeah, another marker for the Super Bowl LX as the end of the line, which I showed in my last video, the end of the line, is of course this movie, which came out shortly before the Super Bowl. And I showed this already on my channel, but the name of the movie is Him, the Greatest of All Time, which is the German subtitle. And this once again points towards the goat, the year of the goat. And the year of the goat, as I showed on this channel, is about the great test of all time, which would be the mark of the beast in the year of the goat 2027, 2028. And yeah, this is all about, it's pointing to the mark. It's all about crossing out the fiction, crossing out the one eye. So we have to X the money, the one eye, to basically get out of hell realm, gain the wings back, crossing out the false vision, the dual vision, the D-vision, which means dual vision, the division. And remember, the division takes place at the prison. It's a division, a dual vision. Everything is divided at the prison, at where the I sits, where L is. So we have to cross this vision out. And part of this vision is, of course, money. And part of this vision, of course, is this dense suit we are stuffed in, the cellular prison, because the body consists out of cells, which also underwent cell division. Okay. And it's all about crossing out this vision to get back into heaven. Hanging the false dual vision on the cross. And exactly the same thing we saw on the Super Bowl. We were shown the end of the line. And it was basically a resemblance of the movie cover. And the same thing was shown. The Bad Bunny, which was the white rabbit on this evening, he made the same thing. He made a symbolic crucifixion, all in white. And he was basically dying to evil. Levis is an anagram of evils. He was dying to the evil's vision on the Super Bowl, which signified the end of the line once again. And this is the move we basically, the leap we have to take when it comes to the mark of the beast. We have to die to evil's vision. We have to basically go all in. So yeah, for more videos about the year of the goat, you can check out these videos. I did a lot of videos about the year of the goat and also about X.com for the Mark of the Beast platform. X Money, John Wick, we're gonna be excommunicated from Hell Realm. And yeah, also Neo Cortex is like, Neo's court is X, the new court is X. Yeah, it's the crossroad. It's the decider, basically. X.com, the Mark of the Beast, it's the decider. And yeah, all these movies showed us that, the Golden Gate Bridge might be X'd out literally, might be destroyed or attacked in the future. And in my opinion, this will or must happen before the Mark of the Beast is being rolled out. So somewhere in the next weeks, months, we will see. And yeah, it's symbolizing the leap of faith we have to take on the last Golden Gate Bridge. And it's symbolizing also the color red symbolizes the danger zone. It's always about the red zone. The mark of the beast is always about the red zone, the last bridge. And yeah, and the symbol of the leap of faith, yeah, it's like the destroyed Golden Gate Bridge. So yeah, I suspect that a destruction or some kind of incident before the rollout of the mark is very likely. And that's also what this logo is foreshadowing. Yeah, then let's go to the World Ahead 2026 cover. And yeah, of the Economist cover. And yeah, it's called The World Ahead because the world is ahead. It's the mind, it's the human mind. We see the red-blue duality depicted, and we see the year 2026, and we see war inside the mind. I mean, bombs are going off, shots are being fired, there are attacks happening. We see also the red balloons, 1990 red balloons. It's all pointing towards war inside and outside of the mind, of course. But we are presented the exit point in the middle of the mind, at the middle point. And yeah, so basically what we are seeing right here is the depiction of the short circuit, and it has begun in 2026. It's a depiction of the short circuit inside of the brain's duality. And yeah, let's go into what's depicted here in the middle. And we see here two swords, which form an X. And we see two coins with two heads, and these two coins are representing money. So we have X, money, and X being the sword, the decider. And we also see the brain, the human brain, being controlled through a controller, which is located next to Trump. And X being the decider, being the opportunity to basically cut off the mind control, to cut off, to being freed of the prison of the mind, is the mark of the beast, X money. Yeah, in the background we see like a chart which is dropping, a red chart, which means a financial crash has to happen. And X money, which is then implemented as the mark of the beast, is then basically the decider, the crossroad, the opportunity to leave the mind. And it's the opportunity to leave the mind through X money, which is basically our personal narrow gate. So yeah, X money, let's go into that again. Here we see the projection, here we see the mon eye, the prism, and we have to basically X this thing out to leave the projection, to leave this hell realm, the dual projection. So X money, the mark of the beast, is the opportunity for us to internally and also externally, of course, X out the false vision. And this is also depicted on every church. On the roof at the top, there's always the projection or the pyramid, and there's the cross on top. Because yeah, you have to crucify you have to crucify your false vision, the dual vision, to get back home. And that's that opportunity is presented to us right now. And yeah, I went into that. The apocalypse means unveiling, and that's why the game changer X money has been unveiled. So 2026 is the end of the line. And why is 2026 the end of the line? Because Z or C is the 26th letter, so Z is the end of the line of the alphabet. And I went into that. It's the alpha is like the A, and bet is like L, the A, B. Alpha is like the projection, the pyramid. This is the alpha, and on top is L, the B. You just have to turn B around and then you have L. So it's the alphabet. L is a bet, the queen. So we are at the end of the line in this year. And yeah, this was also shown. The Super Bowl indeed marked the end of the line. Yeah, also with the broadcast emergency, resemblance of the color. We have the hunter, as I showed. We have the end of the line is also Iran, which is about to go down. We have World War C as kind of some kind of foreshadowing. We have the movie C where he holds his head because it's war inside of the head, war inside of the mind. We have the C or the Z tankers from the Russian soldiers, and we have the end of the line, where we have to take the leap of faith. And yeah, we will go into Iran, the lion. But first we will go into Zorro. The movie Zorro also depicts the C, and if you take a close look at the letter C or Z, it's also depicting the short circuit. If you turn it on the side, it's basically two towers which are connected or which are bridged. If you look like sideways. So the short circuit is happening, the singularity is happening, the mark is being introduced, the platform is being announced. It will be introduced in the next month. So let's go into Zorro, which is also pointing to the year we are now in, 2026. And yeah, on the Keystone Epstein Ranch, which is called Zorro Ranch. Zorro Ranch. Yeah, Epstein, we figured that out, is the Keystone. And yeah, there's the Zorro Ranch, where supposedly some dead girls are buried. Yeah, and if we take a close look at the Zorro Ranch, we also see the bull's eye and the X. And the bull's eye always represents L. Yeah, the bull's eye is this, which we have to pin. Yeah, we have to pin L, the pineal gland. We have to tear in the retina. We have to tear in the bull's eye, pin through it, break through it. And yeah, which is a big reference to that the darkness, all shadows come to light, basically. And the buried girls, yeah, symbolize the dead, trapped spirit. And now, yeah, more is coming to light. We have entered the keystone. We have entered the bull's eye. We have entered, like Elon Musk is showing you, we have entered the source of the false projection. And now the short circuit is happening because all darkness is coming to light. The duality is merging, and yeah, we have to basically escape the mind before it's completely destroyed, before the loop closes and beginning meets the end. So yeah, I showed that Epstein is like the keystone, and the keystone is also tied to the source of this projection. There are the keystone cameras, there are Freemasonry using the keystone as symbolism. Yeah, it's the stone where you can unlock the false projection and make it collapse in itself. Same like this is also the keystone. It's always about the keystone, unlocking the keystone and finding out the truth. Going all in for the truth. Yeah, we also have the keystone on Epstein Island. And yeah, as I predicted in one of my last videos, more comes to light, more names are getting unredacted in the Epstein files. Yeah, it's basically the apocalypse of John, and John is always the shadow. Donald John Trump or John Smith in the Matrix. It's John is always about the shadow coming to light, the suppressed, unwanted parts of ourselves now coming to light, so that the duality is dissolving, and everyone can either join the process of unveiling the shadow, or either you can basically deny it, stay in division, and live in ignorance and stay in the old paradigm. So the choice is up to us. Yeah, more Epstein files being unredacted, more shadows come to light. And yeah, let's go back to the year 26. The short circuit is happening now. It has begun. As Elon Musk wrote, 2026 is the year of the singularity, which means the mind's duality is short-circuited. This is also shown in the Zorro movies. There is the Zorro, his mind, his head, the Saturn head, the fire on the sea or the set, which means the mind is being short-circuited. The duality is being burned. We have the horse, like, yeah, we are now in the year of the fire horse. I think it's tomorrow or on Thursday, on Tuesday, the 17th, 2026. And the year of the fire horse indicates that the short circuit is indeed happening. As we see with Zorro, we even see the moon in the background, we see fire, we see the fiery horse, we see the short circuit, we see the fire judgment of the mind. Going along with the year of the fire horse, and also with the Iran thing, the end of the lion of Iran. Let's go over it. The Chinese year of the fire horse begins February 17th, and the short circuit has begun, or basically with the Super Bowl, and the mind being burned, being short-circuited, and parallel or to that, at the same time, the mark is being announced, the last decider, the crossroad. So as Decoding with Cody pointed out, I made a screenshot and copied that. The fire red horse year starts on February 17th, which is the 17th day of the second month, and now we will go back to that. And it's also associated with the red horse, the apocalyptic rider on the red horse, the rider of the revelation, which means war. And we also had on the Super Bowl the number 64 on the White Rabbit's shirt, which is pointing to Revelation 6:4, which is the seal of war being opened. The red horse rider is being released upon the earth, and he's taking peace. And the great sword, and the red horse rider is always associated with Putin, strongly associated with Putin too. So let's see what's happening with Russia, but the big one is Iran, the Iran war, This is the big kickoff, and which will kick off the Mark of the Beast. Yeah, we also have a solar eclipse on February the 17th, and 17 is also the Q, the letter Q for like the short circuit. And it's also, when we use lead speak, it's like the it. We are now entering the it complex, the darkness, because we are at the end of the line and we now have to go through the darkness, through yeah, basically our worst fears, our worst nightmare. And yeah, the eclipse is on Antarctica, which is the ice wall, you know, the wall of our eye, of the ice. It's a double meaning. And yeah, that's basically, it's like when you see a shadow in your periphery. That's what it means on a macro scale. So now the shadows are lurking on the periphery, and we are kind of getting scared in the darkness. It's basically a foreshadowing of the darkness which comes from the periphery, and which we are now going into when the short circuit happens. Yeah, so let's go back to the Iran stuff. And yeah, the next round of the nuclear talks between the United States and Iran is scheduled to take place in Switzerland on Tuesday, February the 17th. So once again, the exact same date. And Trump already said, he warns that it will be a bad day for Iran if the nuke talks fail. So I don't know if this thing will go down on February 17th, but we have indications of that. Yeah, if you remember, Trump confused at one point 9/11 with 7/11, and 7/11 goes back to Genesis 7/11. And yeah, it says there, in the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the second month. So the 17th day of the second month boils down to February 17th. And yeah, the year has also become clear, because yeah, this time we will witness the same thing like Noah, the floodgates open, which also remind me of the Golden Gate. But let's see what happens, how it exactly it will play out. But it also points towards the Iran thing going on steroids. And probably on this day, or there's another, as I said, another lunar eclipse coming on the 3rd of March, which is 33. And on the same day we have Purim. So a lot of stuff will go down in the next days. And probably the big one, which is which is the Iran thing, the end of the line, which has to happen in order to collapse the global financial system, which is necessary in order to implement the mark. So that's what this Iran thing is all about. So yeah, let's see what happens. It's hard to boil things down to a date, that this and this thing will happen exactly on that and that date, but we have the time frames, and we know in which direction this whole thing is going. And I would say that is yeah, that's a good preparation for what is about to go down, so that we don't have to get into fear, and we know exactly what this game is about, what's awaiting, and what we can do. And I hope it gives some trust into yourself, basically. So yeah, that you basically don't have to fall into doubt when things are going down, but rather you will know what's happening, and you can have faith in your own decisions then. Yeah. That's it for today. See you soon.